I was asleep last night when most of the storm came through because when I got home after shut the plant down, I had to get the jet ski out of the water and take care of my dock. So I kind of fell asleep early, but I heard it come through. We lost power. As you can see, we got a bunch of debris all over the road. I'm gonna go down here to the dock. Yes, it looks like the water is over the road. Yep. So if I wanted to go somewhere right now, it doesn't look like I'd be able to go. So let's walk down to the dock and see what we got down there. I would assume that as the storm was coming through, the water was a lot higher. That was about 2 or 3 in the morning. I was just able to I got my jet ski off the dock at around, I don't know, about 9 or 10. Oh, and I saw a bunch of gators. Gators were everywhere last night. And as you can see right here, this is how high the water level came up. So it came up, because you see all the floated debris. So it looks like it came all the way up across the road to here. And over there. So this was where the water level eventually was. Here's my floating stuff. Here's a look at my boat dock and my fence. So you see we're still all flooded across here and then all the way across the street. The water looks like it is still too deep to drive across. It's not going to be drivable. So we're still stranded, it looks like. Let me go see. My big old giant 4-wheel drive my godmother sold me would probably get across it. And you can see just on the other side how far it went up the road over there. So at one point it wasn't passable. This looks like it would probably still be passable. You can see the current, so that means it's only a few inches deep. I would say probably a foot maybe. So that's still passable. And here's the creek, and if my friends know that the creek, that tree right there marks the edge of the creek basin. So you can see we're flooded all the way across that basin. So we're flooded from this yard all the way across the creek basin over to my dock. I had to take my dock last night and disconnect it from my pier. And actually when I disconnected from my pier, my floating dock was about 2 feet above my stationary dock. This is the backside looking over into my property. Oh my God. Looks like everything survived. There's a bunch of trees, limbs down in the water, but as you can see, my floating dock looks like it survived. Let's walk around to my dock. I hear some ducks, so there's some ducks that survived. I can also hear the sanitary lift station emergency diesel system running. Now here you can also see where the water came up into my yard. So it looks like it was about 2 or 3 feet from the street. So we had looks like about a 6-foot surge. My dock is still underwater. I'm just glad my floating dock didn't get demolished, but there's my floating dock. I disconnected my floater and put it in the middle of the channel. Tied it up on a tree on one side, and the boat lift or the ski lift that me and my best friend Turtle made, it never worked. And the only reason why it didn't work is because this was his design. He said he was the engineer. He knew exactly how much metal it would take to lift that ski out of the water. And you see what happened? It bent the first time he lifted it up. You know, I'm gonna blame him for that, because technically it was my design. But anyway, let's look down the river here, the creek. Perch Creek is completely inundated still. Where this, you see that pylon right there, that's actually the edge of a pier from a next door neighbor. And it looked like she took, oh, we lost a tree. That's a big popcorn tree that fell, and it used to stand right beside her dock. So I'm sure she'll have me out here cutting it with a chainsaw, or maybe I'll be able to get my jet ski in the water. But yeah, we still have high tide. Looks like water's about 5 feet, maybe about 5 feet above normal, above a normal tide. Actually, about 6 feet above a normal tide, because water all the way up to the edge of the road from a normal tide is about a 6 to 8 foot lift. Now, when it gets to 10 to 12, it actually goes across the street. So for the most part, it seems we were somewhat unscathed. It does look like the water came across the road here, because this is that's a watermark from leaves and debris from the river getting up here. So that does look like that was probably a watermark also. I didn't see any trees down in my yard. I wonder how long the creek will be across the road. There's still a light wind, I'd say probably maybe 10 to 15 knots gusting. It's light, probably about 7 or 8 knots, but it's gusting to about 10 or 15. And in my yard, just looks like some tree limbs down. I was so worried about my big oak falling, because it's already leaning. When Hurricane Katrina came through, the southerly winds pushed it, so it's got about a 3 or 4 degree lean. And I knew that if we took a 90-mile-an-hour wind on the eastern side of the storm, if it came up through around Pascagoula, I was expecting that tree to fall over. So I'm just glad we didn't lose the tree. I'm gonna have a lot of cleaning to do in my yard. But for the most part, I was so worried, because I had to work and shut down the plant and had no time to take care of my own yard. But I worked till 10, 11 o'clock at night, and as you can see, I lost some tree limbs, and even my foam mattress stayed there. I was worried that my boat was going to be sitting on the ground. It does look like some of the blocks were shifted, but for me, it's just mostly tree damage. I don't see any main trees knocked over. So at least, yeah, no main trees, no major trees got knocked over. So at least it looked like it was a minimal damage hurricane. And I think we should all be grateful in Mobile Bay that it didn't come up that projected path that was first showing it coming up our bay, because we would have been devastated. All right, that's the damage in my area, Perch Creek, Dog River area. I hope everybody else survived as good as I did.